We are in for a real treat here. Lihon Hicken, welcome to the show again.
Hi, Julia. Thank you
Hey,
for having me. I think mine's the last section, right? It's gonna be the last
yeah,
one.
yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
it's a good transition because as you could hear, Gainside Community Talk, and you've been part of the community roundtable. So now we are
Yeah.
gonna focus on the survey result. Put it together, the state of GTM AI tech 2025. Let's dive into it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. So, all right, friends of Hard Skill Exchange and the AI-led Growth Summit. What an epic 3-day event on the topic of AI-led growth. You probably have heard a lot from the panelists and the experts talking about AI. And finally, it is your time to hear your voice, right? So the survey is your voice, your opinion, what you think about go-to-market is going, where is AI is going to contribute. So thank you, Julia, for giving me the opportunity to present the hard work of the survey results. I think you put in a lot of effort in building and designing this. So later on, I might invite you to talk about some of your thoughts in this. But before we started that, let me just share my screen here. Want to do a small introduction of who is TheySaid and what we do, and then go into the idea of the survey design and what kind of result we're looking for. Sounds good, Julia?
Amazing. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So they said if you look at the worlds of the universe of getting feedback from your customers, you have what customers say on the top, and you also have what customer do on the bottom, the quantitative side on the right, and the qualitative on the left-hand side. And then now, if we break this down into the research method of knowing your customers, if you want to know what customers say, you do surveys, right? Send out a survey is pretty scalable. But if you want to understand why customers say certain things, why they do this, really go deeper understanding the motivation and the intent, buying intent on that. You do interviews, or sometimes you call it customer conversations, or sometimes a fancy way is focus group, right? And then vice versa on the action side, you either do user testing to test out why customer do things, or you use user analytic tools to understand customers' behavior. All right. So our funding team comes from a company called usertesting.com. User testing went public in 2021. So uh, growing and building user testing, we know how powerful the the value and how powerful the qualitative insights are, but so is interview. So problem with qualitative insight is that it's super valuable, but it's not very scalable. It's very manual. It's kind of a one-off. It takes forever for you to schedule calls, analyze the results, and then take action, right? Surveys, on the other hand, is very scalable, but its surveys are designed to count things like X number of percent of people like Y and Z. So what? Without the context of the why, it's not very helpful. So and all these different things live in different systems, which cause more painful siloed results, siloed customer insight that cannot be put it together. So what we're trying to do is build a feedback OS system that can combine all these feedback into one and give you kind of a ChatGPT style that build on your customer's feedback. Then you can ask the bot about what does my customer like? What is my customer's concern and pain point? But as of today, we are able to do the AI surveys, AI interviews, and AI user testing, which allow you to get qualitative insight at scale. This is kind of our unique point. All right, so much about what they has done, and let's dive into a few examples. So in our survey, which Julia, we went out about 5 business days ago. We got about 74 people responding to it. Like, for example, one of the questions we asked is like, how do we envision AI transforming your go-to-market strategy in the next 12 months? Now, this is a traditional survey question, and the majority of people will say it will automate routines. It will automate routine tasks, like improve your efficiency. Okay. So what does that mean? What kind of tasks can we improve? Is it sales task? Is it marketing task? Is it SDR work or is it a post-sales work? We don't know. Like we only know this is what a traditional survey on the quantitative side give you the result. Now, let me show you another concept. In the AI conversational survey, a person can answer this one, and you, AI is instructed to follow up on this and asking them why you believe automated routine tasks will be a key transformation for your go-to-market strategy in the next 12 months. So this person saying, oh, AI can do it at scale. No SDR can do. So his belief is SDRing is a number game, hitting a number day by day. So AI power assistant will step in entirely. So in his mind, the automated routine task is he wanted to automate routine tasks of SDR work. And other people might have different tasks. So you can see here, it give you additional layer of insights the traditional survey wouldn't be able to get to you. And the AI will ask these questions dynamically based on what they are asking. So this is kind of a conversation level, what you can do in one-on-one conversation you can do. All right, going into deeper, what are some of the interesting insights? Same question on that. Which is going to the most transformative um, go-to-market strategy in the next 12 months? So majority of the people answer that, automating routine tasks, including data gathering, this building, research, and administrative tasks. A lot of the sales-related tasks can be replaced by AI. And this is majority of people saying it. Um, and then we also have another third of people believe in, more personalized outreach, better decision making in customer health score. So some of this is still in prospecting in new sales side, and some of it is in the existing customer management, manage the customer's health scores, predict customer care, and then retention side. So you can see here, overwhelmingly, most people talk about AI in go-to-market for acquiring new businesses, and then a significant chunk, maybe a quarter of them talk about better decision-making process in the existing customer flow. And then we also don't forget about some negative voice. So they are a significant uh, worry and concerns about adopting AI. And some people just believe AI is going to be too overused, and that will lose the sincerity in human, really have a real impact in go-to-market. So that's kind of a base view in terms of this question. So I'm going to pause here before we go in there. So Julia, when you were designing the survey question, what was it in your head, and what did you want to find out? And was this result a little bit surprising to you? And what was your experience? So tell me a little bit about that, if that's, sorry, it's a lot of question.
Yeah, happy to share. I actually want to focus on the technology itself, on TheySaid. I'm not the easiest customer, Li Hong, as you as you
I
experienced. I'm a
remember.
design freak, yeah, and I use a
Yeah.
very popular alternative normally to TheySaid. So it was really hard to get used to the new user interface and just generally, just to start using the tech. But then once I tried it, if you can just showcase the experience itself, how it shows the insights, um,
Yeah.
so it's
I mean,
super dynamic. It's the opposite of static by all means, and you can dive in every conversation and see the depths of insights. You can share this link with I have just automatically a lot of sales use cases on my mind. So this is a really cool way to expand, I don't know if any research into a meaningful conversation in your outreach. Yeah, I'll pause here.
yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. So what I want to say, you cannot, you need to be platform agnostic. So you cannot say XS survey is the history, but you can say they said it's the future, right? Yeah. So one of the things we were when we are designing the survey, um, for the questions we really want to understand why, we turn on AI Insight, which you can tell the AI to follow up one question before moving on, or do two plus follow up before moving on. So you have a full control of how deep you want AI to dig deeper in terms of the specific topic. And the whole conversation experience make it a little bit more natural. Typically, most of the DaySaid conversational survey will have less questions, but you, like you said, Julie, you want a lot of information and you wanted to gather a lot of information. I totally understand it. So thank you for those who went through this process and give us a lot of valuable insight. But I actually had a fortune of looking at several of these kind of large scale survey results. And there's some interesting threads and findings I will share in the following few minutes. Let's go on here. So earlier I show, I think Julia, you mentioned one of the things you really, really like is that you can see each conversation. And my favorite thing is actually, I really like the action item because the a lot of people might say, yeah, we don't do surveys because survey result is really bad. We don't have really high response rates. Based on McKinsey study, the number one reason why people don't fill out surveys is that they think the organization would not take action on the feedback they give. So think about this. If my feedback is going to a place where dreams dies, I'm not going to give you feedback. Okay, straight. So that's why we actually build out action items where AI will suggest, based on the conversation, do this, do this. So this is my own account where I use this for AI code prospecting, which I taught in, I think it's a last event. Julia, we talk about using how to use AI survey to do code prospecting and book 100 meetings in about 30 minutes time. So I've been running that campaign. I recorded a step-by-step guide where you can use that to do that as well. And you can use TheySaid platform for free to do that. Um, so if you're interested, pin me in the Slack channel in the HSC Slack channel. I'm there. The HSC group is my kind of community of go-to-market leaders who are really into AI. So sometimes I hang out there. So if you are interested in hearing that recording and that I'm happy to share a copy. But taking action, I cannot tell you how important it is. I'm using this to engage with my potential customers, existing customers, and take action. I usually do it within 24 hours of time. That being said, Julia, so for those of people who have done the survey and they said they do want a copy of the result, we need to probably send it to them. Um, do you want me to send it or you want to engage with your audience, send it? Luckily, there are not many of them.
I think it would be a great step for you to just get acquainted with the community and just
Ah,
take the next step.
sounds good. So these people, I will be sending you guys a copy of your own survey results. And if people want the entire survey result, happy to provide that as well. Okay. So that's going on next. So um, if you're interested in using AI survey, like just to understand what AI conversational survey is, you can try it with a QR code, scan it. Benefit of that is you can actually talk to the AI using your voice to speech function, and that's speech text function on the phone. I personally like that better because I don't need to type. I'm lazy. So give it a try. It's free, and then if you pair it with my AI code prospecting session, that actually will help you generate some more leads, specifically from people who says no, thank you. Those are the ones that you can get more attention. All right. I know you guys have sit through 3 days of a boring presentation on that. So I want to make it a little bit more fun. We used the AI survey result and created a podcast that's generated by AI. This podcast is about 15 minutes long. So if you later on get this presentation, just click on that. It's kind of pretty hilarious. It's a male AI and female AI talking about the things and argue about the different opinions because the survey result shows like there's some trends, but there's also conflict in people's opinion about AI. So they will be like, I almost feel like they're talking in the mind of my thoughts. So it's pretty fun. So go ahead and listen to this podcast. It's about 15 minutes long. Now, if you are too time crunch and don't have time to listen to the 15 minutes podcast, I'll spend the remaining 10 minutes to show you some of the interesting funding I have. So interesting funding here is remember we asked about the company size. We see here it look like the hard skill community or the AI-led growth community is majority smaller companies. And the interesting thing we found is like in terms of budget contribution here, the most common is 0 to 5% and 6 to 10%. What we found here is like overwhelmingly smaller companies are more willing to spend more budget on AI-driven solutions, and the larger company are not as much. I mean, in terms of budget, it's kind of hard to tell because larger company might have a bigger budget, which percentage is low, but this is just a perception. Like smaller companies are more eager to embrace and trying AI and more willing to pay for it. So that's some of the interesting things I found. Julia, were you surprised to find this, or you think this is as expected?
Well, that's a funny thing about data, Lihong. It's never quite objective without the context, correct? So the
Right,
survey
right.
was actually shared on my LinkedIn feed, and we made it
Hmm.
crazy hilarious. Because these days it's really hard to make people contribute to any survey, and we were running
And
out of time. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm assuming that the data reflects on the people that basically got into uh,
yeah. I guess if
the
we run
fund.
this
Yeah.
survey a bit 2 more weeks and after the event, I will keep the survey keep going, and then we can keep collecting the result. And when I'm curious to see like for the attendees who are joining this, if you haven't done the survey and you want to contribute that, things might change in the next 2 weeks, and we're happy to send you the updated result afterwards. Cool. All right. Another interesting thing here is we asked like, okay, what works the best, right? Well, what are some of the tips that you can share with people? So this one, lucky thing is we actually turn on the AI Insight on this one, so we do know the why, and people give detailed instructions and tips that they work. So overwhelmingly, the number one people have chosen is like sales. Again, maybe because our target audience, our community is mostly sales, but it's sales is the number one in terms of uh have already seen the most measurable impact, followed by marketing and followed by people who don't doesn't do anything. Okay. Um, in terms of some cool AI tips, including like analyzing large volume of closed loss data, using Elephant AI, creating assets without hiring designers. So those are the notable mentions that people about 6 people mentioned this. I would say I used to be in the space of win-loss analysis, which help you find out why new business people, why new sales, they talk to you and they went cold and they never buy. Like, why did they not buy? And you, I'm actually a little bit skeptical about this method because when you say analyzing large volume of closed loss data, it's basically data that the salespeople enter. Like when you enter closed loss, and then the sales force will pop up asking why, and then you just type in. So it's not direct customer data; it's more indirect customer data. But in order to get direct customer data, a lot of companies will hire agencies and they'll do weight loss and analysis interviews, and it costs like $1,000 per interview to get that. But it is very valuable. It is amazingly valuable, and you don't need that many. You need like 20 interviews and you're good for a year, right? So we actually are lowering our AI win loss that allow you to automatically send out the AI interview asking them why they didn't buy as soon as the deal is closed. So there's a fresh. So if you ask someone like 3 months later, why did they didn't buy that? Well, I don't remember, I forgot. So make it fresh and easy to do, and then also a fraction of the cost of the traditional ways. So those I think would be really interesting way for sales team if you wanted to learn, grow, increase your win rate, trying AI win loss because it's garbage in and garbage out. It's about the quality of data you get. So step number one is analyze the data you already have. Number two is get a higher, more direct, fresh data from your customer. That's actually the golden rail if you can do that. Um, I would say in here, we'll see overwhelmingly a lot of people say they do use AI, but there's nothing they will claim is like a secret sauce. Like the same use case where everyone use AI to write content, linking posts, like nothing unique. So I think the people who feel like they're using AI as a secret sauce is not the majority. So people are still that's why people are coming to AI customer-led growth to learn about other people's secret sauce. Okay. Anything you want to add to Julia before we move on here?
Nothing I can think of. Yeah, this is great.
Cool. Let's move on to that. Okay. Th this one was really interesting. Uh, Julia, you asked which AI-powered solution are most integrated with your go-to-market tech stack. That one actually kind of surprised me. I thought it would be because the previous answers is all sales, 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 and these one is all marketing automation tools. Um, and a few mentions of the tools are, of course, ChatGPT, Design the AI, Gamma. I think that's the sales deck, like AI sales deck, Icon and Elephant the AI. So I actually check out these ones after I see the result, just kind of check it out, see if they work. And I actually sign up Gamma as well. So it's really cool tools. Are there any tools you have seen, Julia, that you think should add to this list?
Wow, plenty. I'm trying to be Switzerland when it comes to tools. So yeah,
Okay, Miss Switzerland, I will not make you choose a vendor because you're vendor specific, you're vendor agnostic, right? Cool. Okay, let's move on here. Um, so this is this is a very sneaky buyer intent question, Julia. You asked which AI brand or vendor do you currently use or are consider using for your go-to-market initiative? So of course, besides all the LLMs out there like ChatGPT, um, you know, um, uh, Google's, all these ones, there are a few mentions here. Gamma is one again, EasyGen, AWS, 6sense, Fathom, Napkin. So there's a lot of AI tools that are out in the market. So check it out. If you haven't heard about them, might be something useful for your toolkit. All right, I won't ask more question on this, Julia, because I know you're vendor agnostic. Let's move on. All right. This one is actually one of the more open-ended question. We kind of want to ask people like, what AI-powered innovation do you think will revolutionize go-to-market in 2030? So that's like five years from now. So it's a bit, I mean, in AI years, this is like a decade or even longer. So um, people have fun with this, like talk about AI, native operators, hyper personalizations, enhance account-based marketing, automate sales and marketing. So real-time comes customer conversation. I would say some of this is actually already happening, like AI customer conversations. We are already doing it, as they said. AI content creation, well, which blog post is not created by AI these days? You can also tell, right? Linking posts. Um, I think some part of the sales and marketing has been automated. I think some people mentioned about Clay, and a bunch of tools together to automate the stuff. One thing I think Julia, a lot of us will talk about is the hyper personalization. Um, I think that will be really interesting trend because right now what we can achieve is we can achieve personalization during a single interaction. But how do we get personalization at the customer journey level, like entire customer journey level? That will be something very interesting because then the AI have a memory of your past behavior, your previous complaints, your worries. You don't need to repeat again. So it can truly be marvelous if we can achieve that. So that's my wish as well. And most people would think, uh, you know, most people's attitude toward the future of AI is pretty positive on that. So I think that's it. We wrap it up with big vision for 2030. And this wrap up the results of the AI go-to-market 2025 AI toolings.
Thank you so much, Leon. A real treat, everyone. Just try TheySaid. Excited to hear your feedback in our Slack channel. And that wraps up day 3 of the conference. Um, Again, just don't hesitate to reach out to me directly, DM any ideas, any feedback, what conversation you'd like to have. And we're going to be back on March 20th with AI practice sessions focused on most innovative marketing methods and dimension. So, spoiler alert, we'll keep you posted. And thanks so much for being part of this. Excited. Thanks,
Awesome.
Leon, again. Bye bye.